Hello, thanks so much for coming. I have been continuing the search for the pets. Hang on, I'm coming around. Alrighty. So, indeed, the hunt continues. Oh, there we go. So this, as you can see, is an 8032. This was on the pool table in the pool room, and I know I've used this one to test things, but I also seem to remember that maybe, possibly, the screen is having issues. Now, I've really not dug into it, but I think it was one of those ones where I couldn't see what I was doing because the screen wasn't happening, but I knew what to type, and things would do their thing. If we look inside, there we go. It does look like a, there we go. Oh, well, can't see very well in the dark there. Maybe I'll just hold this open. It's sort of a typical 8032, kind of dusty. Everything's plugged in. There's no chips missing. So, I think I will turn it on. We are indeed plugged in. And we hear that magic sound. I have a feeling that we are going to see nothing on the screen. I'm going to turn and play with the brightness, but I see nothing. Nothing is happening. Now, it's hard to see. Well, I don't think you can really see. And the old pets, you could kind of peek in the back and see if the tube was lit. I see no way to do that on this. Now, in keeping in mind that I've had other things where it ended up being basically a connector issue, I'm going to wiggle this. I cannot get into the upper part to do the same thing, and I still see nothing, but I know the machine works. Maybe the monitor is dead. Maybe the cable on the other end, and I've seen this before where the little cables, once again, micro corrosion. I had one, if you plugged it all the way in and down and happy and joyful, after a little while, it would turn off. But it wouldn't turn off, you couldn't see it. See, if a monitor is turning off and then back on, it will slowly come up. If the connection to the signal is wonky, it'll just go on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. There's no warm-up period because the monitor is still on. This one, I'm not sure. So what happened is, up in the upper part of the monitor, there was, the cable that the signal went through. And if I put it all the way down, it would do this. If I left it just, I don't know, let's talk millimeters, maybe a couple of millimeters high, it seemed okay. So that's, of course, what I did. I left it up a tweak. Now, I could have, and maybe I should have, sprayed it with some of the stuff, I don't remember the name of it, that was suggested by Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel when I was messing with the old Commodore radio. But if I turn this on again, it's there. So it may be that this is one of the times that I might have to do a monitor transplant And I am suspecting that amongst all the other machines around here, I might just have a monitor. Oh, let me show you one thing. I turn it back on. One of the ways, besides that noise coming up, that I can tell that it is working, you see on the machine, if you were to be typing along, it did have this thing, kind of like an old typewriter, warning you, hey, you're getting close to the edge. So if I hold the spacebar down, there it is. It's telling me, yo, you're getting close to the end of the line. And so that tells me it's working. It's just not working, if you know what I mean. So cosmetically, it looks pretty fine. Not perfect, but pretty fine. And it would be, of course, an 80 columns, 32K. No vast expansion going on inside. But the keyboard is all here. Many of them. It seems the 0 key is all 0 on here is the one that seems to go missing. I'm not sure why. Just it's the way it is. So I'm going to add this to the assortment here. I think at the moment it's going to end up on the floor in the corner because I got more to get, and then I got to get them together, figure out what's what, and move forward. That is the plan. Let's see, as I look around here, don't forget, if you don't know what this is, it's an 8010 IEEE Commodore acoustic coupler. It was made, I think, by a company named Star Micronics, who made a modem just like this that had an RS-232 connector. But Commodore said, yo, we need some of that. And this is serial number H100626. So probably the way Commodore did things, 626, the 626. Now, it needs a little bit of a face wash, as my grandmother would say. And somewhere I have other power supplies for this. I do. So I will see about testing it as best as I can, as soon as I can. One of the things, for those who remember the old bulletin board days, is, of course, the signal sometimes would not be as strong as other times. And you see, the microphones and such in the phone, because it was the old dial-up phone, were carbon. And, the phone is usually moved around and you're talking and you're hanging up and you're doing whatever and the carbon keeps moving. But when it's just sitting there for days and days and days and weeks, it can get a little squirrely. So perhaps every once, maybe twice a week, just out of routine, when no one was on the bulletin board, we would take the phone out of the acoustic coupler and give it a little smack. I think it was routinely like 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on something close by, probably something wood, just to loosen things up. And once in a while we'd get a message from somebody saying, yo, carrier's low. And we would know, oh yeah, got to give the phone a smack. Yes, the old days. What else do I have here? Oh, I recently got, I'm sure many people have heard of the RTC C-Link. I think this is an early one, because you see, first they came out with the V-Link, which was much wider to go in the Big 20. And then they came out with the one for the Commodore 64, and it was eventually called the C-Link. Ah, here we are. And, but they changed it. Now, this thing here, it's just an RTC VL1. They look much the same, but they're not. This one goes in the cartridge port of the 64. We'll just set that gently there. And this one looks like it goes on the user port and gives you an IEEE thing. It looks like it. I don't remember ever seeing one of these before, but as I got this from a fellow who used to be involved in a very famous publication, a very technical publication, this could be an early prototype. I don't know. I have not investigated yet, but I will. I will indeed. Anyway, with that, I gotta gather the pets. I gotta get on with this. So at the moment, we have I think in here right now there are 22 of these machines, which means that yes, if you are in the midst of wanting to do a movie or something from the 80s and have a class full of pets and have it look like it's the lab from way back when, give me a call. It would take an awful lot to move all these, and it would not be costly. But if you're really doing a serious movie, like if you are, no, I don't just mean an independent production or whatever, but if you're doing like a serious movie and this is what you need and this is what you want. I know that in the past, Sid Bolton, God rest his soul, would rent things out from the museum in Brantford to movies and productions and other such things. I don't know if he ever did a whole class set. I don't know. But certainly, like the movie I was involved with, which I'm going to do more videos on, called Hide and Seek, which was made by the CBC back in the 80s, in 1983, they used a computer lab, which is full of pets. And if you ever wanted to recreate something like that, you need, typically, I would say, at minimum, unless you're going to shoot around in different ways and move machines, about 24 pets. I think the typical lab, at least in my school, had clusters of 6, and there were usually 4 clusters of 6, which is 24. Other schools may have had different things. We also, in one of the rooms, there was stuff all the way around the room, and there were like regular desks in the middle, and everybody worked on the computers around the edge. And I don't remember how many were in there. Is it still on? Oh, it's still on. Hang on. Let's hold that down again. Still working. All right, we'll turn that off so I don't forget and do something silly like stick my hand inside, which can be dangerous. So the beat goes on. Gotta find more computers. I know where they are. And then there's the one that's in the garage. That is going to be a beast of a thing to get. A beast of it. A beast of it. A beast of it? I don't even know if that makes sense. It'll be a beast of a task to get it. Anyway. Thanks for coming. I need to get up and walk around because, you see, I have another chair here and it gets in the way. So I just push it aside, but that means I can't get by. So, I shall rise. And I will toast you farewell. And then I will walk around past the various machines. And I will come around behind. And I will look and say, oh yeah, there's the pet room. Anyway, once again, thanks for coming. See you again. Bye for now.